Hi everybody. Today we're going to learn about the different cursors and pointers in Microsoft Excel. Feel free to pause this video as you wish so that you can practice yourself. Probably helps to maybe open a blank Excel spreadsheet and just run it in the background. Excel changes its mouse pointer shapes according to its current functionality or what you're trying to actually do. Here are some of the important mouse pointer types and their related functionality. The select tool, drag and drop, or the autofill. You will see the different pointer types when you select a cell or cells or hover the pointer over a different active element of a spreadsheet. The most regular pointer type is actually what we call the general select pointer. When the Excel's mouse pointer is a general select, the shape is marked as a pretty thick cross. It is ready to select a cell or a range of cells within an Excel spreadsheet. So if I will just select this box here, this cell here, you'll notice that the general cross, a fairly thick cross, I'll be able to click on each cell, or I'll be able to click on a range of cells, which are many cells together. Okay, so the main point of this is to notice the pointer type or the cursor type, which is a fairly thick cross. The next one we're going to look at is a pointer, the mouse arrow pointer. It is the general pointer that we are used to looking at in pretty much all Microsoft products. Notice now I'm going to move the pointer up along the screen here, and you'll notice that it is in the select box there at the moment. Okay, when I hover over here, it's going to become a down arrow, which will select a column. I won't distract you now just for a while, because these are other pointers. I move up here, it'll turn into a cursor that you can insert some text. But eventually I'll get to the top up here. This area up here is known as the ribbon, and the pointer turns into a normal pointer and simple arrow where you can select different options. Okay, you can select different types of text. The main point again here is just to notice the type of arrow and what it does. I'm going to come down here now and just click in this box again. The next arrow we're going to talk about is the move cells pointer. Okay, if we want to move cells about the place. For this I'm going to just insert something into a cell here. Just going to put a number in here, a number 100. And if I select this cell, I select it by clicking on the cell. Now notice this next type of arrow. It's like the drag and drop. It's like a crosshair here, okay? Notice at the moment the pointer is a thick crosshair. When I get to the edge of the selected cell or the cell I want to select, notice it turns into a crosshair with arrows on the ends. If I go into the cell, it turns back into the general select. Come back to the next border of the cell again, it turns into a crosshairs with arrows. Notice it happens on all four sides of the selected cell. When it's a drag and drop or a pointer with arrows in the end, I can left click, hold down my left click, and I can move that cell or the contents of that cell wherever I want. Okay, notice I'm going to select the cell again. I want to left click, hold down my left click, and drag and drop is what it's known as. So I can click on the cell and I can drag and drop it to another location on the sheet. Just so you'll see, it'll also do a range. Watch what it does now. If I select two cells together, which is a small range, and again I can move it once the pointer type turns into a crosshair with arrows in the end of it. Okay. The next pointer we're going to look at is the fill data pointer. Another very useful pointer or pointer shape. It appears when you hover the mouse pointer over a small square at the bottom right hand corner of a selected cell. When Excel's mouse pointer is at fill data, it can fill data or create a data series. Just watch this now for a little small demonstration. If I type in a piece of text here, or a number. Now, watch this. When I select this cell with 100 in it, you'll notice this tiny weeny little dot on the bottom right hand side of the cell. This is, I think it's known as a fill data handle, okay? Tiny little dot. But the most important thing to notice here now is just notice when I hover over that little dot, the pointer turns into quite a dark crosshair with no arrows in the end of it. Just a small dark cross. Okay. Now if I left click and if I drag down, watch what happens. It just fills down the contents of the cell. If I type them, say the number 5 in here, okay, go back up here, again click on the little dot and drag down. It copies down what's in the cell. Okay, watch what happens if I put in a piece of text. A day of the week. Now watch, this is interesting. Click again, hold, left click, hold and drag down, and it'll fill in the days of the week automatically for me. It'll do the months of the year. Again, select the cell, left click, hold down the left click and drag down, and it'll put in the months of the year. I'm just going to delete these things out of the way here. Watch again, if I go 1 point, put in a decimal point, 0.05 for example. And watch now again, if I just want to click down, I'm going to show you some other tiny little bit of functionality. If I left click, hold, drag down, and I'll be given a tiny little selection, a little box here with a drop down arrow. And now click on the drop down arrow and ask me, do I want to fill in the series? Watch what happens. Okay, it counts up the series for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll pick an easier series to watch. Okay, if I go say number 3. Again, if I left click, drag down, and while I'm here I'm given the option of a little drop down. If I fill the series, it'll fill the series 3 to 9 for me. This is a very handy little piece of functionality, okay? So, just to give a quick wrap up, I've shown you today how to use the little select tool, which you will notice here is a pretty thick crosshair. We've shown you the drag and drop, which is where it turns into a little crosshair with arrows in the end, which is for moving things around the place. And we've shown you the little fill handle. I hope you learned something from this. Thanks very much for listening. Goodbye.